You were listening to chartingwealth.com for Thursday, the 9th of February, 2017. We see all of our ETFs are up for the day. That includes the S&P 500. The Nasdaq 100 is represented by the Qs, QQQ, also TLT, the bonds, and gold. And of course, we have ongoing trades on all three of those indexes, except for the first one, the S&P 500, because our two-day chart is still in a confirmed downtrend. So we have not entered into a trade on that in the new year. It is in a confirmed up move on the weekly chart. That actually started all the way back around the 28th of December on the weekly. We did see an increase of 0.13%, not a lot in the S&P 500. It's still moving above the weekly trend line, but we have no trade there. Things are different, of course, when we move on to the Qs. We see that QQQ, which of course represents the Nasdaq 100, is both up on, we have a crossover, have had a crossover going up since sometime around, what is that, the sometime before the 9th of January, I think it was the 6th, we had a crossover going up on the weekly chart. I believe we entered our trade on the 9th of January, and we have had substantial appreciation since then. Things are still going up. For those of you who were doing the traditional way that we have originally started our trading, where we wait until both our weekly and our two-day chart are going in one direction, there's a rollback on the 4-hour or the 2-hour chart. In this case, the 2-hour chart, and then it crossed back over, going in the same direction as the two-day and the weekly. That occurred at 4 p.m. on the 2nd of February, and we have seen considerable appreciation since that occurred. So we are very happy to see things as they continue to move up, up, and away. The high for the two-day candle, well, actually the high at the end of the day, at the 4 p.m. candle, the high was $126.68. That is just beautiful. The opening, let's see, somewhere around 124.86, something like that was the low, about 125. So up $1 in just a few days on that chart. Of course, up quite a bit more on our weekly chart from where we jumped in at about 121, 122. So again, considerable and good appreciation on the Qs as it has continued to fly up. We will continue to keep an eye on that. Those of you wondering about what do you do, how do you know when to get out? Well, my friends, that is where your training and experience as you continue to practice trade with us is going to come to your aid in helping you make that decision. We are seeing the two-day chart losing energy as far as the Qs goes. We see that now the PPO continues to climb, but we do see the DO, the derivative oscillator, losing energy. However, we entered this on a weekly trade back around the 9th of January, and if we go back and look at the weekly chart, what do we see? Nothing but strength. We see the derivative oscillator continuing to get large, and we see the PPO continuing to spike up. So keep all of those things in mind. I tell everybody the easiest way to determine when you want to get out is to set your goal early. And if indeed it was a 3.15% appreciation, of course, that was at the end of the month in January, up $3 and something. So again, whatever your determination is, if you're going to be happy with a certain percentage or you want to simply follow until things start to back off, you can do that. And of course, you can sell parts of your position at any time at certain profit levels. Okay, we'll teach more about that. In fact, I have a training that I've gotten a few emails from you guys that I'm going to do on that in the very near future. Okay, we're going to go from the Qs, the Nasdaq 100. We're going to go to the latest trade that we entered. That, of course, was on TLT, which crossed over going up. I have to actually zoom in a little bit, and it's hard to even see on the 2-day chart. I'm going to convert to the 2-hour chart. It's easier to see. We had the crossover at the end of this past week, and we had the jumping in point on the first day of this week when we had a crossover going up on the 2-hour chart. That was around 10 a.m. on the 6th of February. And what did we have? We had the opening there around 10. And again, we want to get in around 10:30, but the opening was somewhere around 119. And of course, what have we seen appreciation-wise throughout the course of the day? The high at the end of the day was all the way up to 122.24 from 119, about a $3.25 gain. Not bad for using either our traditional method where we had the crossover, the pullback, and then the crossover on the 2-hour chart, or if you simply got in on Monday at 10:30 as per what we've developed lately with our weekly vertical crossover rule, which is wait for the week to end. If indeed you have a crossover on your weekly chart, then of course you wait until the following Monday after idiot hour is over at 10:30, and you look for a jumping in point if the 2-hour chart is not negative. So things are looking good on 3 of the 4 charts that we follow. Now again, all this is subject to change at any minute, but we have seen bonds bottom. Now the last that we have is gold. And of course, gold, we're going to go back to our 2-day chart. Gold is also in a move up, and what we have seen happen with gold is we have an entry point that we also identified in gold around the 27th of January, and we also had a pullback on the 2-hour chart and a crossover going up on that, and we had the entry point that I know a number of you have asked about, and of course we found that also. The opening at gold around 2 p.m. around noon was 113, and gold of course has been as high as 1859 since then. Folks, that is some incredible appreciation. We are just very excited about what we have seen occur in all of these charts. It was a long summer, was it not? But since the elections and since we've gotten into the fall-winter trading zone and we've seen these charts really take off, things are looking quite good. Gold was up 0.62% for the day. Bonds up 1.36%. And again, the stock index is not going up a lot, 0.13 on the S&P 500, 0.17 on the Qs. We are just excited about how all these things are going. And we're going to keep you posted each and every month as to how accurate our calls have been and how profitable they have been. From the jumping in point to the highs throughout the course of the month. So we're very excited. We hope that you are enjoying your training. You are filling out your daily market worksheets every day. You are practice trading. Again, we're not a stock calling service. We're not an investment advisory firm. None of that stuff. We are an education firm. We want you to practice with us. When you get good enough, you feel confident and competent enough, you've had one successful trade after another, you've learned from all the sources you care to learn from, and you make up your own mind to do what you want to do with your own money, that's your call. We don't make that call for you. We always give that explicit disclaimer. Now, we appreciate you being with us. We appreciate everybody who's gone with our request. If you appreciate what we do, we just ask for a little bit of reciprocity. We ask that you please go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast. You guys have made us as high as number 6 in the world in stock market podcasts. You also have given us hundreds and hundreds. I think we're right at 2,000 subscribers now on our YouTube channel. Please go there and subscribe. You can also like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. All the stuff that we do, we post at all of those different social media outlets, and we appreciate your help and support. Folks, that's where we are as we end the day on Wednesday the 8th, and we go into Thursday the 9th. Things are exciting. Stay with us. We'll continue to try to do our best to bring you daily valuable updates on these markets. And also, we have updated our daily market worksheet. We thought we had it done yesterday, and one of our fans pointed out we still had IYY on there instead of TLT. That was the total market index fund instead of the 20-year bond fund. We have changed it. It is on there. We've also changed over from our 4-hour to our 2-hour charts. We've lined up the bubbles better. It's just a good thing to have. So please print out that daily market worksheet. Fill it out every day if you want to supercharge your training. And you will have a diary of what you've been doing and learning. It's where you note down and you make really good progress notes as to what you're up to, entry points, exit points, all the things that you see, candlestick patterns, you name it, most valuable. God bless. Thank you so much. All the best from chartingwealth.com.